Hello guys, welcome to this video. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to use Microsoft Word, otherwise known as MS Word. Okay, so Microsoft Word is a program developed by Microsoft that enables you to create a document, edit the document, and as well maybe possibly delete the document. So it's very useful in creating a whole lot of stuffs, from ebooks to CVs to office document, or other private document. So if you don't have Microsoft Word installed in your system, go ahead and do that. But if you have it in your system, you can simply just close it. You can simply just open it by going to the Windows button, and you just click on blank document. So depending on the version you have, I have version 2021 here. You might have a very different interface. Okay, so this is 2021 MS Word 2021. Okay, so let's get started. So in Microsoft Word, otherwise known as MS Word, like I've already said, there are different sections to the program, okay, to the software. There are different sections to the program. So this first section is known as the quick access bar. Okay, so this is where we have quick access, like the savings, where you can save the title of the document. We have search, we have minimize, we have restore, and we have close. Okay, we now have the ribbon. Okay, this section is known as the ribbon. The ribbon, we have so many tabs here. Here we have the home tab, we have the insert tab, we have the draw tab, we have the design tab, we have the layout tab, we have the reference tab, mailings, review, and and so on. Okay, then this area where we have the cursor, this entire area is known as the document area. So the document area is where we have everything. Okay, we have the text, where we can insert the text, we can insert pictures, we can insert audio, we can insert graphics, we can insert graphs, tables, and the rest of them. Okay, then lastly we have the status bar. Okay, this is where we have the status bar. We have the zoom in and zoom out here. We have the landscape and portrait view here, and we have the number of words. We have the number of words here. Okay, like we have one word, and we have the number of pages here. Okay, so all these are very important, and we'll be going into how this is going to be very useful when we are creating our document. Okay, so I would just show you guys how to create input a simple text. So you can see where the text is hovering here. I can just say this is a simple text. Okay, so this is a simple text. So I have created a simple text in MS Word, and I can simply delete it by using the backspace, or I can simply left click, hold on the left click, copy all the text, and use backspace. Okay, so that's a way to input just a simple text. Okay, so I can use Ctrl Z to restore or what to have deleted here, or I can simply type it again. This is a simple text. So remember, this is typed in the document area, like I've already mentioned, the document area, the ribbon, the quick access bar, and the status bar. Okay, so take note of these 4 different sections of your MS Word document or program. So I'll show you guys now how to increase the font size. Okay, so to increase the font size, you simply left click, copy over the text, and we go to the home tab where we have the ribbon, and we go to this font section. Okay, so this font section is where we can add colors to the font, where we can make the font bold, where we can make the font underline, where we can increase the font. Then we have the paragraph, we can adjust paragraph and all that. So we'll go into all these other tabs here, but we can increase the font just by using this section. So we come here, and let's say we want to make it 20. Okay, so I've successfully increased the font from the default font, which is 11 to 20. We can as well change the font style. So I can use Times New Roman, or I can use any font of my choice. So I can say Times New Roman and I press enter. So that's how to change a font. So let's say if you want to make the font underlined, so I will create a new text here. I can say this is an underlined text. So you want to make it underlined, I can simply copy it and type the U here. Okay, I've successfully made it underlined. Okay, so you want to also make it bold. You can as well copy it, or I'll just say this is a bold text. This is a bold text. I simply copy it as bold. Copy the text, sorry, I remove it from being underlined and I make it what? Bold. Okay, so in all this we have not saved the document. So if I were to come to this quick access bar and click on the cancel here, everything is going to be lost. So how do we save a document? There's a shortcut to save the document, but we need to rename the document before we are able to use that shortcut. So if you look over here, we can see the name of the document, which is just a default name, document 1. But to save it, you simply go to file and we go to save as and we go to browse. So when we go to browse, we'll see a whole lot of places, directories, or places we can save it on our desktop. So I would save it on our desktop. Okay, so that's going to be easy for us to access. So I can just rename this sample document new. Okay, and I click on save. So even if we were to close our document here and I come back to the desktop and I open it, I just right click and I open it, you see that whatever we were doing is still is still there. Okay, so these are the 3 sentences we have created so far. Okay, so we can also change the font color. Okay, we can also change the font color of our text. What is the font color? The font color is simply the color of the text. Okay, so everything that has to do with font to be home in the ribbon here and this font. Okay, so we can copy this text and we can come here and explore the different font colors. So let's just make it red. This is a bold text with a red font color. Okay, and now there's a short form on how we could a shortcut on how we could save this document as we are progressing without actually coming here to the file to save. So what's that shortcut? We simply use Ctrl plus S. Okay, so hold on to Ctrl S, hold on to Ctrl and press S and it will automatically be saved. I remove this from bold. Let's say I make it 14. So Ctrl S, you can see a new document has been saved. Okay, so that's the shortcut on how we could easily save the document. So we are also going to be talking about how to align our text. Okay, so if you look at it very well, all the texts are aligned to the left. Okay, and you can simply push this text to the right. So let me just create a new paragraph here and I can say aligned text sample. Okay, aligned text sample. So we can change this. We can change the alignment of this text to the right. How do we do that? You simply copy it and we go to paragraph here and we'll see some things that look like lines here. So this is for left, this is for center, this is for right, and this is for justified. So I align it to the right and I use our Ctrl S. So align text sample, let's say to the right. Okay, and let's say I want to align this one to the center and I can say align text sample to the center. Okay, so I copy this and I align it to the what? to the center. Okay, I simply use Ctrl S again. So that, guys, that's how to align paragraphs or sentences to the left, to the right, and to the center. Okay, so there are a whole lot of other features here. So take example, you want to change this text to a capital letter. So you can see, apart from this first letter here, the rest of them are all small letters. What do? We still go to the font and we go to this change case, so we can change it to either uppercase. Everything here has been changed to a capital letter, or we can change it to capitalize each word. That's each of the words will be capitalized. We'll just leave it at uppercase. Okay, so we can see that this is a very easy, simple way to instead of cleaning everything, we can simply just transform our text into uppercase, okay, otherwise known as capital letters. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is paragraphs. Okay, so paragraphs. So we have been creating a few paragraphs as we I didn't spell this correctly. We have been creating a few paragraphs over the course of this little text we have written down here, but officially a paragraph is just a bunch of sentences that has a common meaning. Okay, so I will just show you guys an example of a paragraph. So this is a simple letter that is just being generated here. So a paragraph is just a bunch of sentences with a common meaning. So this is a simple letter about nature, and just has some random text here. So this first one is saying nature is wondrous and intricate tapestry and all that. Okay, and this second one talks about how it has advanced and all that. Okay, so in writing a letter or anything, an ebook, this is just a simple paragraph. So I'll copy this paragraph and I'll go back to our Word document, and I'll come here and I'll just simply paste this. Okay, so to copy, it's very simple. We go back and we right click and we copy, or we can say Control C. Okay, to copy is Control C. So you can say to save, Control C, to copy. Okay, so I'll just come here and I'll paste it. Before that, I would maybe change this to 14. Nature is wonderful. So this is the first paragraph. Okay, I've created. Now to create a new paragraph, what we simply need to do, we go to the end of the first paragraph. Okay, these are all sort of paragraph, but I want to create a proper paragraph. This is what I've done here. Okay, so you have to type enter. Look for enter on your keyboard, on your desktop, or your laptop. You type enter and you can create another paragraph. Okay, instead of creating a new one, we can go to the second paragraph here and we copy this text. Can use Ctrl C, or you right click and we come here and we paste this for the second paragraph. Okay, so we have successfully created two paragraphs. Okay, we have successfully created two paragraphs. So to create a new paragraph, like I said before, you just simply type enter and we can say this is the third paragraph. Okay, so we have successfully created the third paragraph, even though it might be short. Okay, even though it might be short. So another thing we can also do after creating paragraph, we can adjust the lines. So if you look at it, the lines are quite close to each other. We can increase the font and adjust the line. So to adjust the lines, you simply copy. Okay, to copy, you left click, press left click, and you drag all to the sections you want to copy. And we come to the paragraph here and we can see some lines after this aligned here, and we can simply adjust the line. So this gives us a better view. 2.0, I think by default is always on 1.5. okay, So we can see the lines between this text now are readable and more spaced out. Okay, so that's how to put lines between the paragraph, or lines between the sentences. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is how to put a border. So take example, a border. I want to put a border around here. So borders are simply sort of lines around a text. Okay, so to put a border around a text or a sentence or a paragraph or a heading, we simply come here and we highlight where we want to put the border, and we come to this box here and we can put a border, all borders. We can put a right border, left border, but I'll just be using all borders. Okay, so we have successfully added a border here, and we can align this maybe to the center. Okay, we can align this to the center. All right, so another thing I want to talk about is how to add lists. Okay, so maybe in learning or any other thing, you might want to use a list. So take example, you want to say list of different colors, list of different colors, or types of colors, or types of fruits, or types of anything. So I'll just type here how to use lists. Okay, how to use lists. I'll simply clean this because I want to remain on this page till we are able to use multiple page. So how to use lists, I'll give this 20 and I'll give this bold. How to use lists. So to use list, I can say, okay, types of colors. For example, I can say red. Okay, red. Let's say green, and let me just reduce the size here. And I'll reduce the font size to maybe 12, and 1.0. So types of colors here, and I want to put this into a list. So now list has different types. Okay, list has different types. There is what we call ordered list. Let's say I want to put this list into numbers, different numbers like 1 2 3. Instead of manually typing 1 2 3 for this, we can simply just use insert the list. So how do we insert the list? We can insert the list by simply coming to this paragraph section here under home, and in this top here we have the ordered list as the first one, and we have the ordered list. The ordered list, when you have numbers, you have alphabet, you have Roman numerals. So I hover over the 1 2 3 which I want to use, and I've successfully added the ordered list. Okay, I've successfully added the ordered list. So we have red and green. So to convert this to an unordered list which does not have a number, we can simply hover over it and remove this, and we come here and we have unordered list. So whichever one works for you, whatever you want to use it for, this is how to add ordered list and unordered list. Okay, so we go over the next thing, how to use indent. So there's something they call indent. Now indent is simply to push a text, okay, to the right or to the left, okay, or a group of text. So I want to add an indent here. I can simply come here to the paragraph also and push it to the right. Okay, so I've created a significant amount of space here. Maybe you want to just make this side look fancy, or you just want to reference something you're writing an ebook, you want some part of the paragraph to look like this. You can simply add an indent. You can remove the indent by hovering over it again and pressing this left. Okay, so this is the left indent and this is the right indent. Okay, and this is the right indent. Okay, so I'll just leave it a little bit and I'll save this. Okay, so we can also see how to change our page orientation. So to change the page orientation, by default the page is always on what we call portrait. Okay, so this is a portrait page. Okay, a portrait page is just a normal book page. Okay, always very lengthy. And we can change it into a landscape. So how do we do that? We go to layout and we go to orientation. So by default it's on portrait, like I have already said. We can make it what? Landscape. Okay, so it's a little bit larger now. So with all the status bar also, we can zoom in and zoom out. Okay, by default it's always on 100. So I will change this back to portrait. Okay, and I'll Control S, Control Save. So another thing we can do, we can adjust the margin. So what is margins? Margin is simply this space we see here around our document. Okay, so if you notice there's a whole lot of space, which simply means there's a whole lot of margin. So we can make this margin narrow. Okay, how do we do that? We simply go to layout and we go to margins. So this is normal. We can change it to narrow. Okay, we can change it to moderate. We can change it to wide, which gives a whole lot of margin. We can change it to office, and we can just leave it at narrow. Okay, so depending on what you want to do and how you want maybe your document, how you want your ebooks to be, you can adjust the margin according to your preference. Okay, according to your preference. So we have another thing like the page size. So if you want to print this out, there are some papers, there are some printers, you need to put them in a certain page size. So by default, I think page size are always on A4. Okay, but depending on what you do, we have A5, we have A3, we have Lego. I'll just leave it on A4. So A4 is like standard across offices, what we can use make the page printable. So I'll just simply Control S. Okay, so another thing we can talk about is page break. Now by default, if you get to the end of the page, let's say I just press enter, we get to some text, you can see a new page has been created. Okay, but there are other ways we can create a new page. Okay, so they call it page break. We call it page break. So to add a page break, we go to insert, and where we have pages here, we can just simply type or click on the page break. So we have successfully created a new page, okay, without having to use enter or scroll down. We have successfully created a brand new page. So I can just say this is a new page. Okay, this is a new page, and I can increase the font size of this page, let's say to 20, and bold, and let's say I make it uppercase. Okay, so we can increase the font size of this page, and we can also insert what we call the header and the footer. Okay, so take example, you are creating an ebook and you want to put like a trademark text at the top of the page, so we can use a header. And for the footer here, we can also let's say want to add page numbers. So I'll just give a practical example here. So let's say this document we are creating is a book about let's say nature. So I can, to insert a header and the footer, I go to insert, I go to the header, and we can choose from a variety of headers we want to insert. So I'll just choose this one here, and I'll call this header, let's say nature's book. Okay, and maybe I can align it to the left, and I just save. So all around through our document, if we have 500 pages, okay, so even if we have 500 pages, this header is going to appear. So how do we also insert the footer? So we come here and we go to footer, and we insert the footer. We have page 2, we choose the page number, we have page 1 here. So that's how to insert the footer. Okay, so there are a whole lot of things you can do with the header and the footer, so you just try to explore. We can see example of what we can do with the header. and the footer. So you don't necessarily have to use them, but it's just very good to know about them. So next thing we're going to talk about is how to use tables. Okay, how to use tables. So tables are sort of a data we can put into rows and columns. Okay, so if you have seen something like a calendar, where the top of the calendar we have days of the week, and the content, the head of the calendar, sorry, we have days of the week, and the content of the calendar we have numbers from 1 to maybe 31 or 29 or 28, like we have in February. So that's an example of a table. So I will just add a simple table. So to add a table, we simply go to insert, to add a table, and we click on table. Now there's something we have to note in table. In a table, the horizontal part of the table is known as the rows. The vertical part of the table is known as the columns. So let's say I want to create 3 rows, 1 2 3, 3 columns, 1 2 3. That is the vertical part of the table, and I want to create 3 rows. So we're going to the horizontal part now, 1 2 3. So let's say 4 rows. I've successfully created 4 rows and 3 columns, 1 2 3. So I'll just indicate it here. Rows are horizontal, columns are vertical. Okay, so rows are horizontal, columns are what? Vertical. Rows are horizontal, columns are what? Vertical. Okay, so in this table we can simply, the first row of the table is usually the head of the table. So I can put something like countries. I can put something like capital, and I can put something like abbreviations of this country. Abbreviations. So a country, I can say United States. Capital, I can say Washington DC. Abbreviations, I can say USA. Okay, I can think of another country, let's say United Kingdom. Capital, I can say London. Abbreviations, I can say UK. I can think of another country, we can say, what can we use again? We can say South Africa. Capital, we can say Cape Town. Abbreviations, we can say SA. Okay, so we have successfully created a table with abbreviations, capital, and country. So I'll just make this a little bit smaller since it's the body of the table, and we can see our table looks very good now. So we can see we have created 4 rows, 1 2 3 4, and 3 columns, 1 2 3. Okay, so in a case where, let's say, I want to change the design of this table, I want to make it look beautiful, I can come here and click on this edge here. Okay, that's formatting a table, and we'll see a different tab would appear here, table design, depending on the version you're using. This is 2021, so you can see that disappeared. If I click on this, a table design has popped up. The table design tab has popped up. So I click on this table design, and let's say I choose this. Okay, so we have successfully designed our table. So we can check, explore other colors and see. Okay, so we have successfully designed our table. I think our table looks much more better here. So in a case where you have, let's say, you want to add another country, for example, and you want to add another row. Okay, remember, rows are the what? Horizontal. Columns are the what? Vertical. So to add a different row, I copy this row and I right click, and we can see insert. So you can add a row above or add a row below. Okay, so I'll just choose add a row below. Okay, I've added a row below. So to add a row also, to add a column, so to add a column, what do? I simply copy this column, and I go to insert and add a column to the right, for example. Okay, or I can add a column to the left. So I've successfully added one row and one column. Okay, so we can add as much rows as we want and add as much columns as we want. So I will just simply leave this out. So another shortcut that is very important here is how to go to a previous version of something. So you can say Control plus Z, okay, to undo to previous state or version. Okay, so take example, I delete this by mistake. I say, oh, what was here? I can simply use Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Z, and we have it to the previous state. Okay, so these are very important. I will attach a whole lot of cheat sheet or shortcuts to the description of this video, so by the end of the video or within the video you can download it and take note of this shortcut. But if you're just starting out, get yourself familiar with how to use file, how to use the savings tab and all that. So another thing I want to go into is how to add pictures. Okay, how to add images. So to add images is quite simple. We go to home here, we go to insert and we go to pictures. So you can choose to add image from your computer by using this device, or choose to add image online. Okay, so to add image through this device, you simply click on device and we go to where we have our images. In this case, I'll just go to my downloads and I will just add, let's say, this image here. I can simply insert this image. Okay, so we notice the image does not fit the entire screen. That's because we didn't adjust the margin, and aside that, the image is quite bigger than the current margin. So I can simply reduce the image and we have a perfect sized image here. So if you're writing an ebook, you can put in your image. If you're putting a document, you can put in an image of anything. You're making a report, you can put in an image on anything. So another thing, if we want to insert images from online sources, so we can go to home, so we can go to insert, go to pictures. So you want to add online pictures. Okay, so I click on online pictures. So we would have, depending on the version that you're using, this is 2021, you can have a whole lot of pictures. So I click on this pictures of airplane, and let's say I click on this one. So it's going to be downloading the pictures. So we have successfully added the picture. This is, I think, Singapore Airlines cargo. So we have successfully added the picture. We can adjust the size to make it a little bit lengthy, and we have successfully added the picture. So now if you notice, the picture skipped this space here. This is because this space is kind of too small for the picture. So if I were to reduce the size of this picture, if you notice, these pictures carry about 6-7 dots here. So this is how to adjust the different sizes, okay, to the right or to the left. So you come here, when it shows an arrow, I can simply reduce the size and you can see it has successfully got into the page that was there before. So I'll just leave it to the other page. And so that's how to add pictures from online sources or add pictures from your computer. So if you're doing anything, you're doing an assignment, you're doing a project, you're doing something in your office, you're writing an ebook, you're preparing something online like a report, you can add as much pictures as you can. So another thing I want to do is how to add shapes. To So to add shapes is very similar to how to add pictures. We go to insert. So another thing to notice is that where you put the cursor is where the picture is going to appear, or possibly where the shape is going to appear. So be careful where you put the cursor. If the cursor is right here and you want to add a picture down here or in the other page, is going to be added at where the cursor is. So take note of that. So to add shapes now, we go to insert and we go to shapes. So we can see a whole lot of shapes here. So if I wanted to add, let's say, this arrow shape, I click on this arrow shape. If you noticed, our cursor here has changed to a cross sign because shapes are not being inserted like pictures. Shapes are being drawn, like you would draw them on a paper, or you draw them on Canva, or you draw them on Photoshop, okay, or any other online or offline tool. So to draw it, you simply left click and press through the area you want to draw it. So we can see we have successfully added the arrow shape. We can change the color by going to the shape format here, and let's say I leave it this way, or I'm unsatisfied, I leave it as black. Okay, so we have successfully added a shape. So we can add as much shapes as we want, or we can add as much image as we want, depending on where and how we want to use them. Okay, so there's another thing called SmartArt. SmartArt. Okay, SmartArt is very similar to shapes and pictures, but they have a different let's say I delete this out. They have a different way or use. So to insert a SmartArt, you simply go to insert and we go to SmartArt. So these are like graphical representation of what we want to display. So I simply come here. Let's say I want to add this pyramid. I click on the pyramid and I click on OK. So the SmartArt has been added. Okay, the SmartArt has been added. We can change the text to anything here. So we can say USA, for example. We can say UK, and we can say South Africa, or we can say SA. Okay, so we can as well change the size of the text. This is 64. Let's say I want to leave it at 20, or 20 is too small, I want to leave it at 40, or let's say 48. I come here also, Ctrl Z, I come here also, I change this to 40. So I change this to 40 or 48. I come here also, I change this to 48. Okay, so these are the three ways. Sorry, we have successfully added a pyramid. Okay, so you can use it, you can insert any other thing of your choice, you can explore other SmartArt. So this is just an example of how to add a SmartArt. So next thing I'm going into is how to find a text. Okay, find a text. So to find a text, let's say you have a 300-page document. Okay, a 300-page document that's filled with images, that is filled with text, and let's say you want to change something in the document, okay, in the 300-page document. So how do you find it? Okay, so you can simply use the find button. Okay, let's say I want to look for a word like USA, or let me try USA. So we have two results for USA. We have one here, which is where we have the abbreviations, and we have another one in the SmartArt. Okay, so we can easily change any of them we want to change, but how can we change all of them at the same time? Okay, so we can do that by using replace. Okay, not find. Find, we can use it to find and change individual words, but how can we change all of them at the same time? We can use the replace. So to use the replace, you simply go to the replace. Remember, go to home and you go to the replace, and we have the USA. Say I want to change the USA to the US. Okay, so I can simply replace all. So if I close this, you look at this, it has changed to the US, and if I go to the table, it has also changed to the US. Okay, so we have successfully been able to change the USA to the US. Okay, so next things I want to go into is how to review your document. Okay, how to review your document, so take example, you have a 300-page file presentation you have prepared, and you want to review things like grammatical error, you want to review things like spelling and all that. So we simply go to the review tab. And let's say we want to review spelling errors and all that. So we can simply go to review, you can go to spelling and grammar. So now there's going to be a pop-up, and the system here would analyze potential errors. So if you notice here, the United Kingdom, the K here is starting with a small letter, so it has suggested that we change it to a capital letter. So if you're okay with this, I want to leave it that way, simply use ignore, but I want to change it, so I'll go with the suggestion here. I click on suggest, and that's the only error our document could detect, or our MS Word program could detect. Okay, so there's also a way to convert your MS Word into a PDF while you are saving it. So how do you do that? Simply go to file, and we go to save as, and we browse where we want to save this, and let's say I want to save it in the same place, the desktop here. I can click on this document that is showing Word document, and I look at PDF. You click on the PDF, and this is automatically going to be converted into PDF. So now PDF is safer due to the fact that you can't easily edit PDF. Okay, so if I'm sending this to somebody, the document here is going to be retained in the exact format. Okay, unlike if you're using the Word. Okay, okay, so that's one of the advantages of using PDF. Okay, so that's how to convert your document into PDF. Okay, so you can also protect your document, you can restrict editing. I'm not going to be going into that, but at least I've been able to show you guys how easy and how you can insert pictures, how you can do basic Microsoft Word task. Okay, so overview of what we have done. We have talked about the quick access bar here, we have talked about the ribbon, I've talked about the document area, we have talked about the status bar. I made mention the status bar indicate our word count here, indicate our view. Okay, web layout indicate how we can zoom here. Okay, and our document area here is where we can insert everything, pictures, we can insert text, we can insert table, etc. Okay, so I've also showed you guys how to save, Ctrl S, and showed you guys how to rename your document or convert it into PDF or any other document format here. Okay, so I think we have not touched a whole lot of tabs here, like this draw tab. Okay, this design tab, where we have watermark. So if you want to add a watermark, what's a watermark? A watermark is simply like a trademark, okay, to show that this document or this file belongs to a particular person. And we can put something like this is not for sale. So let me just add a watermark, confidential or do not copy. Let's say I put this, so we can see do not copy. Okay, do not copy. So we can also use a custom watermark, no watermark, trade watermark. So we can change this. I can say not for sale. Okay, we can say okay. So you can see this is not for sale, and to show all through the pictures, to show all through the pages, So not for sale, not for sale will show all through the pages, or you can even put your brand. All right, you can put your brand. You can say property of let's say US, property of US. So this diagonal, you can make it horizontal. All right, custom watermark. Size, you can change the size if you want. I'll rather leave it diagonal. So property of US, property of US, property of US, or property of Canada, or property of your company. Okay, so that's it for the watermark. I'll just simply remove the watermark. So you can also change the page color. If you go to the design here, you can change the page color. Let's say I want to change this color to green. All right, it doesn't look very nice. We can also change the page color to yellow, red, black. I'll just leave it at white. Okay, page color to white. So I'll leave it at white. I think by default is always on white. All right, so we have also the layout, where I've talked about margin, orientation, size, and okay, portrait orientation, landscape orientation. So we have references, we have mailings, we have review, we have view, you know. So you can explore the other tabs, but I've everything that would cover the basics and introduction to MS Word has been covered in this video. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.